got the whole damn verse spinning around you with open arms. It's a race against time that plunges you deep into the black. What are you gonna do when the void stares back? You'll never stop the revolution. Time to begin your evolution. Take a leap of faith. You gotta break the illusion. You gotta make your own solution. Take a leap of faith. The future's just a void, jump away.
Greetings, humanity. Welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. Today I am playing Cole Hayden, Human Gunslinger, and we shall go around and say hi to everyone. And we shall start once more with Anino. Hello.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns. And for this campaign, I play Rekmara, the Aviara druid, who is destined for nothingness.
Oh my god.
All my characters.
I'm very worried now. I'm so worried.
I feel like we're playing Invisible Sun now.
It's possible.
We need a space train.
A
Galaxy Express 999.
I'm even more terrified because I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm not sure I want to know. I don't know. It's all so terrifying. It's dark and alone in space. But let's move on. Hello, Kazemi.
Hello, I'm Kazemi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm playing Klangswell Nunu Fritz Holdsbottom Thunderstruck, the space gnome who uses they, them pronouns. And I'm firmly convinced that Anino Rekmara actually is going to be fine because he has a very strong insurance infrastructure to support his presence in the galaxy. So I have no fear that he will be nothing.
Actually, that's not true. It's the Order of the Sepulchre that has the insurance plan. Rekmara is merely a provider within a very specific, narrow group of plans.
Yes, but you do have access to the entire bureaucracy, and so you're absolutely safe.
Oh my god. One of these days,
Jim already. This is pretty good.
One of these days, I swear, I'm going to actually. One of these days, I'm gonna actually read the Dark Matter book and see how much lore is being invoked in here, because I suspect that there's a degree of it happening right now. And one day, maybe shortly before the end, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. You know things are serious when someone threatens to actually read the book. But meanwhile, let's move on to May. Hello.
Hi, everybody. My name is May. I play Lassen's Chain Tower, the Star Dwarf Paladin. We both use she, her pronouns. And now I really want to ride a space train.
I mean, why not? Why not? I'm sure it's out there somewhere. If we look hard enough. Unfortunately, Mem is not with us yet. Mem will be appearing at some point, possibly quite suddenly. I'll be hopefully, she will signal us and we'll get a break when she's ready to dive in just a little bit. But in the meantime, whilst I mute myself as I noisily clack about the dice that I forgot to dump onto the table, let us move on to our station master, Alyssa. Hello.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you all for playing. My name is Alyssa. My pronouns are she and her, and I play everyone else. So with all the games on this channel, we'll be using safety tools such as the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if at any point we stumble into territory that crosses a line for anyone and we don't want to have it in the game, we'll stop, rewind, add a dash of retcon when that X comes up in the chat, and it never happened. And if you're kind of towing that line and you're okay having the subject in the game, but you don't want a graphic description, that's where the N comes into play. And if at any point you are just getting into some really dramatic and intense role play and you want to let everyone know you're doing okay, or you want to check in and make sure you haven't crossed a line, you can type an O or an O with a question mark, and we'll all respond as needed and go from there. Now that we have the housekeeping taken care of, previously on Ghosts of Saltmaw, upon returning to the station after locating the wrecked Emperor, the party spent some much needed downtime catching up with acquaintances and working on personal projects. Fritz was finally able to finish crafting their new suit of carbonic power armor, complete with 2 integrated weapons, while Lasnus worked on fine-tuning Unum's engines, and Narita took the rug of mothering to visit the small fry on Oceanus' home ship. Rek'Mara continued testing his new abilities with the enhanced obelisk shard, glimpsed a fractured vision of the obelisk itself, but was unable to pinpoint the location before he realized that someone or something was watching him as well. Meanwhile, Cole received a gift from Lee in the form of a gold flask, which contained a whiskey weird, a small fragment of an enchanted water elemental, which Lee and her company had recovered from the lair of Oric the Undead Alchemist after Cole and the rest of the freelancers had cleared the place of smugglers. With some translation assistance from Narita, Cole was able to determine that the creature's name was Spike, and that it was able to transmute any drinkable liquid into a delicious alcoholic beverage. Once he was able to return the whiskey weird to its flask, Cole, accompanied by Rek'Mara and Lasnus, paid a visit to the station's chief medic, Dr. Sora Wu, to follow up with what they had discovered on the wrecked Emperor, namely the second obelisk shard, the N virus, and the Rothian reject Rhapsodos, whom they were still keeping aboard Unum in suspended animation. In return, Dr. Wu shared what she had learned from examining the surviving jump dust test subjects, which revealed that several of them were infected with a virus that she had dubbed MyPi, which enabled its victims to tap into certain psionic frequencies through which creatures like the Roth might communicate with them telepathically without their knowledge. In discussing the virus and its effects, the party realized that Narita had also been receiving telepathic signals from Rhapsodos, and at various other points in time throughout their adventures together. And after a brief examination of the Nautilid Witch via Detect Poison and Disease, Dr. Wu confirmed that Narita was indeed infected with the MyPi virus. Not only that, but she had been since long before she met the party. However, Dr. Wu was able to cure her with Greater Restoration spell, and the party made plans to travel back to Chiron to investigate the connection between the Psyworms and the virus. We rejoin our intrepid freelancers as they leave the doctor's office to prepare for the trip. I would ask what Rek'Mara's passive perception is these days, but I know it's pretty high. So, Rek'Mara, I'm just going to tell you that as you are leaving the doctor's office to return to the ship, you are aware that someone is watching you.
Like physically, or using some sort of magic in order to divine?
Physically. you have noticed that someone is tailing you.
Okay. So is it just Cole and Lasness that's with me?
You kind of check and do a head count of your party members, and Narita seems to have taken off in pursuit of Ted, who has wandered off to do Ted things,
You give a few talks, that kind of thing. Yeah.
as he is wont to do.
Yeah.
Aha.
So yes, it is currently just yourself, Cole, and Lasness.
Well, I suppose our fame is starting to precede us. I feel like we're being followed.
No.
What's the minimum of the passive perception on that?
It's usually 8 plus your wisdom plus your proficiency is how you figure out what that number is.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to know the number to beat. I'm sorry.
Oh, the number to beat is she's not subtle.
Oh,
There is a human-looking woman in a bomber jacket. She has a warm ochre skin with brown hair that sort of fades into a green and gold ombre, and she's wearing a headband decorated with a third eye. Lasness, you recognize her. You have met, and the tag on her jacket reads Iris.
oh, she was my friend from the tavern that helped me out, but didn't actually really help me out at all. Yes. Yeah. No. I you just noticed her now. Okay. What do you want to do? You want to think an ambush is a good idea?
I thought you said that she was your friend.
Well, you don't sneak up on a friend, so
Sure you do. If you're going to play a practical joke on them, I'm assuming.
is that what you think this is?
Probably not. It's never in my case.
How many friends have you had? Like there might be like a formula for this, like how often like friends do surprise things versus how many friends a person has.
I don't believe that I am an accurate measure of this.
Oh. Okay.
Do you want to shoot them? I'm not really attached to them.
No, I've got a better idea. And Lassus turns around and just starts waving. Hi!
She waves back.
Come on over.
I suppose that's one way to do this.
Iris approaches the party.
Your hair is looking real great today.
Thank you.
Why are you following us?
Oh, I just got back from dropping off the Archdruid at the menagerie and thought I would check in. They send their regards to Rekmara.
Oh, well, that's charming, I suppose. Is that it?
Not exactly.
So am I going to have to guess, or are you just going to come out and say it?
Is it a surprise?
Hi, I'm just going to say what brings you here. Perhaps that'll help expedite matters.
Well, that depends. Is it something you want to talk about in the open? And she kind of stares at Rekmara and then lowers her gaze a few inches and stares at the front of his tunic.
Just sort of look over at Rakmara.
And looks back up.
I suppose not. All right, well, that's the best place to discuss such matters. It will be the ship.
All right. So she will accompany you back to the ship.
Yeah. Cool.
And once you are behind closed doors and can speak freely, she says, I want to know what you've learned.
Is there a particular reason I have to share that with you? Because, no offense, you're not exactly within my order. You don't look druidy enough.
No, you're right, I'm not a druid. But I have a vested interest in the obelisk's powers, which is why I've been working with the Archdruid.
Okay.
I'm interested in evolution.
There are books on that.
Books won't help me. And she sort of gestures, and you might recognize it's similar to what you might do to dispel magic, but more like she's dropping a spell on herself, and you notice her hair sort of floats weightlessly for a moment as her image transforms, and the humanoid features, the eyes get bigger, the skin gets more iridescent and scaly, and when the magic is completely dispelled, she reverts to the form of a nautilid, the same coloring as her hair.
It must be really uncomfortable without your suit.
Yeah, you do notice it does breathe a little more heavily now that she has transformed, and she says the magic does help with that. This particular transmutation, but I can only hold it for a certain amount of time. But it enables me to get around without having to expend resources that could be better used for people who are less capable of such transformation, who haven't there's people who need it more than I do. The solution, I can get by.
I believe you're muted.
That's right, because I muted while I coughed. Well, I would love to help you, but it seems that my shards of the obelisk relate specifically to machines and constructs. I haven't been able to use this to affect, well, biological creatures. Though I suppose if I found a couple of more other shards of the obelisk, I would have the necessary power to extend my spheres of influence. And he steeples his fingers. Just, evilly.
Give you a calculating look.
Are we in the room with him?
Are you?
I think
I would
so.
assume they are.
You could be.
I'd kind of insist on it.
Okay, all right, good.
That's fair. You've all seen the magical girl transformation.
It's like, is this why? And I'm going to say to Iris, is this why your crew goes after obelisk sightings? That's the word, at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obelisk sightings and any other ancient technology or intelligence that might help my people. That and a few odd jobs here and there to pay the bills so we can keep doing what we do.
I mean, is there like a greater? No. Maybe this is maybe I'm asking this question out of turn. But is this some kind of? Is there some kind of greater connection thing going on with the obelisk and where you're the kind of the sort of damn it, I hope I know about this. This hunt you people seem to be on.
It has the power to change things. I believe that if it can change us so that we're no longer dependent on the Poseidon solution, we would be free to live wherever we choose. I know it's a long shot, but we don't have a lot of options.
I've heard about somebody talking about the Poseidon solution recently, haven't I?
You have.
Yeah.
It was our dear friend Oceanus.
I still have no idea what Poseidon is in this context, though. I'm guessing.
No.
Okay.
You might know that it was the name of the Nautilid's original home planet that was destroyed when their sun went supernova. But Narita has been very, very hush-hush about such things.
And also, I'm looking through my contacts, and I see that apparently I know about someone who's grifting people to try to find new Poseidon, but that's probably something happening in a different thing.
You can make an insight check if you like.
Sure. I enjoy attempting to be insightful.
See if you can get a read on this woman that you've just met.
There we go. Oh, okay. That's a 24. I rolled really well.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. You're quite experienced at interviewing people as a bounty hunter. And even though you have just met this woman and you don't really know her or what she's like, you do get the sense that she is being genuine and she is not attempting to pull a grift.
Okay. Sort of nod. Yeah, I guess it would be faster if you want to just turn a planet into something instead of just finding one that's already there. But that also strikes me as kind of that's the kind of shortcut that I think that a lot of people would do a lot for. Up to and including, well, one can only imagine. It's not the kind of thing that I think if anybody does find, they'd want it to get out.
Not likely.
Do you need like the whole
just-
damn thing, or do you just need pieces of it? Can you tell me that?
I don't know.
Alright.
I'm just trying to learn as much as I can to see if there are any other options while we continue searching for a planet that has the right kind of water. Because we can make it in small amounts, but nowhere near the scale that we need.
Let me see. Jim is looking for the name of a ship, and he cannot remember the name. What's the name of Oceanus' ship?
The Manan.
The Manan? Are you in touch with those folks over on the Manan?
Intermittently.
Okay. Do you think their most recent venture looks promising?
There's definitely something on Chiron.
Oh yeah, there's
There's a
a
lot
number of somethings.
on Chiron. I've also heard rumors of ice planets in the Dead Magic Zone, but my ability does not extend that far.
Well, there's someone around who'd probably right now leap in and tell you that they'd have a way to help you out there, but I don't see them around right now.
But why do you think that why do you think that something that works on technology would work on you that's not technology based?
Well, the obelisk is all about evolution, not just constructs. It's just
Oh.
that
I've
the
seen
particular shards that I own, and he really emphasizes the word own, happen to have a specific purview.
I've seen what druids of the obelisk circle can do, and they are able to alter their abilities and themselves and others from time to time. And I can't help but speculate what the obelisk might be able to do if one were to encounter it in its entirety.
Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out.
Is that really the best idea to get that much power in one space concentrated?
No, it's probably a very bad idea, but it may be the best bad idea that we have. It may not.
Finally, someone who understands the whole concept of risk versus reward.
And I don't think either one of us is going to get very far if we keep running around the galaxy keeping secrets from one another. We want the same thing.
This is true. But I've been having problems finding and locating other shards of the obelisk as of late. It's as if someone or something has been preventing me from obtaining a clearer path to my goals.
Don't look at me.
Are you quite sure that's not your conscience?
I'm not so
I'm
sure.
sorry, I don't understand.
We'll look it up later. It's okay.
I suppose if I were to speak with the Arch Druid, they could provide me with some additional guidance.
Perhaps.
Well, I suppose that's my next destination then, the menagerie.
Could also tell you what I know.
How much is that going to cost me?
How much is it worth to you?
Ooh, can I ask a question? When did you find out this information's worth?
Well, I started traveling as a seeker when I was about 15. So, all of my adult life, bits and pieces gathered here and there.
What do you need from us, then, to give up the information?
I suppose she wants me to evolve their entire race so that they don't need the whole Poseidon solution and wear those clunky suits anymore.
I don't think you can do that yet. Seems a bit above your pay grade if the Arch Druid can't do it.
Well, the Arch Druid doesn't have their own shards of the obelisk, now do they?
I was asking more in the short term.
In the short term, if you learn anything new, I want to know about it. And if I learn anything new, you'll know about it.
Oh, well, you could have just said prid quo quo.
Okay, I just have a crazy spitballing question here, if you don't mind. Let's say that somebody, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone in this room. We could say maybe it's the Archdruid, or it could be anybody. Let's just say anybody, any person.
Okay, hurry. I'm
Manages
starting
to-
to lose track.
Let's say somebody finds the whole thing, right? And they become powerful enough to pull off this thing that you're thinking about doing. What's to say they then don't turn around and become a problem for everybody else?
Nothing. There's plenty of archmages that have gone on a crazed power trip, as evidenced by the hegemony.
Yeah, there's the whole thing getting ready to happen over that.
Well,
It's a
been
good
happening
thing we're
for
not
some
mages.
time. I'll let that slide this time.
All right, well, if that's it, I suppose there's really nothing else keeping us here. We should maybe depart for the menagerie and continue along this path.
Yeah, I'm gonna need just a little time. Just you give me a couple hours, okay?
Very well.
The group of people hears a voice echoing through one of the ventilation ducts that says, "Hey guys, we do need a couple of hours prep before we take back off again. I think we're sort of short on a couple of minor items like food."
Is that what the replicators were for?
You need something to replicate, dude. I'll take care of it. And you hear an audible click.
I think she wanted some notice.
Just gonna go over to the intercom.
I was gonna say, it doesn't take much passive perception to hear footsteps through the ventilation
Yeah.
system heading toward the main exit, the
Yeah.
main hatch.
Yeah, I'm just sort of nodding slowly and just quietly. Cole does not seem surprised that Fritz has been listening. We'll go over to the intercom briefly and press it and say, "Thank you." And then he's just going to walk off the ship.
All right. Well, in the meantime, I shall adjourn to my quarters and prepare a few things as well.
All right.
Ah.
It
Yeah,
looks like
yeah.
we're ready to go to break and
Excellent.
add our missing player.
Cool. Do you want to just go ahead and shall we just go ahead and take a proper break right now for the timing and all that? And
Works for me.
keep up stuff. All right, folks. We will be back in a little bit. I'm going to throw an interview on, and we will see you shortly. Hey, welcome to the break. With me, you may note that I have the wonderful Kiana and Lauren with me today to chat about various games that they have been in. So I just wanted to see what gloriosity they have participated in. What are some of your favorite campaigns or whatnot that you've done?
You take this one first, Key.
Sure. Yeah. Over a year and a half, I ran a campaign of Lady Blackbirds that was called Adventures in the Wild Blue. It was super
Clouds.
awesome. Yes.
Clouds.
Clouds.
Clouds!
So clouds forever and always. But yeah, so I ran Lady Blackbird, which is really meant to be a one-shot, two-shot game, and I turned it into an extended campaign. Not only that, I also what I did is I got 2 streams involved. So I ended up having the main storyline of the Outsiders, I call them. So the main characters of Lady Blackbird, Captain Cyrus Vance, Bishop, and Kaylin. And I also decided to create another side of the story. And I created the Imperials, aka the enemies who we're also kind of working in tangent in the same shared universe. So I did this over Off the Table and the Socraticus Academy, and it was a wild time. Lauren was in it. She was part of the Outsiders, and was the perfect disaster by captain. So
Thank
good.
you.
She was so good. But it was such a awesome experience. One, because I got to do this weird shared universe situation, which is incredibly difficult. I would not suggest it unless you were prepared for all the prep work, and to also be prepared to throw that prep work out the window within the first 10 minutes. Just eat it. It's gone. Goodbye. But also, like, I had such amazing players who were so invested in each other and in storytelling and in emotions, that we had a lot of episodes where we all cried. So many. There was a lot of crying there, but like all good consensual crying. But yeah, I think it was such an awesome way to build out that, and then it even created spin-offs. Summer did a spin-off based in the world on the pirates in this universe as a prologue prelude to the Adventures of the Wild Blue campaigns. So yeah, we have a lot of artwork of that campaign, a lot of fan art from that campaign. But yeah, it's one of the most memorable storytelling things for me as a GM, and one of the things I'm most proud of, because I was able to facilitate a very much a living world, and was able to let the players do as they please, but still also get some super awesome like group moments, finales. The season 1 finale, I had 8 players because they all got together to fight pirates, and it was a lot. It was so much. But I think it was just this beautiful story about love and family and being able to be yourself. So those are, you can find over on Off the Table and the Academy. I think we're missing the season 1 finale, which heckin' sucks.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I think VOD's got all screwy and stuff. But yeah, that's one of my highlights. Will always be one of my highlights. I think my friends are sick of me talking about it all the time.
Never. That was so good. But I actually, one of the things we joke about, or we joked about it was sort of in chat when we were watching that, is that we all, when the intro featured clouds, and so we would all yell out in chat, "Clouds! Clouds!" during the whole
Clouds are
thing.
here.
And what I find kind of hysterical is that I think it was toward the finale, and I'll try not to spoiler this, but sort of in the finale area of of the campaign, I think eventually that Summer ran to sort of tie up the sort of the what she wanted to tie up with it. I think that the clouds actually turned out to be the bad guys, strangely enough, in a way.
That's amazing.
And I was just so delighted by that. But
With the clouds all along.
it was, and we had been singing their praises all this time. What fools we were!
Utter
What fools.
betrayal.
But Lauren, what about you? What any favorite campaigns you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. So something more recent, something that I run that I've really been enjoying, not necessarily just one campaign, because now I'm doing another one in the same world, is in the System of Urban Shadows, my homebrew city of New Acadia, based on New Orleans, coupled with like the Buffyverse and Sin City Light, Diet Sin City, something like that. That's more for aesthetics. But we had one campaign set there called Bad Moon Rising. That was over on Tales from the Grim with some of these lovely people here with me now. And now I'm doing kind of a follow-up, like a year later, 6 months later, something like that, set in the same city over on the Socraticus Academy, and that's called New Acadia Nights. And it's been really fun. I mean, it's such a fun system, and it's been awesome to use some of the threads from the first campaign in the second. And my new players, they don't need context for that. It's just what they're interested in. It's something for me, which I think makes the city keep living and breathing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been pretty gratifying. I also, Summer had worked with me on making some custom moves for characters for this city. So that's been really cool too. It's nice to have something that like really solid, like a setting you can go back to and expand and explore. And I've really been enjoying that.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, and it's that campaign, the both Bad Moon Rising and the one that you're doing now are just sort of transfixing just to look at, because it's just wonderful to see just the depth of what's there for both the setting that you've put together and for what the players bring to it. I was lucky enough to get to, for folks who may not know, I was lucky enough to get to guest toward the end of season 1 of Bad Moon Rising, where I played my disheveled wizard, which was a lot of fun.
Just trying his best to not have people die.
Yeah, actually,
so
like
hard.
being a hero.
Just trying so hard.
And meanwhile,
great.
we were all terrible on that campaign.
The worst.
But it was glorious, though. Just seeing then seeing how the characters intersected in season 2, and just the whole the conflict that came about even just between the characters, and just how things just sort of came up to the point that it's like, is the city going to be destroyed? It's basically knife's edge stuff here.
Yeah.
In that campaign, and it was high drama, and it was wonderful. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that, like, me and other players from Bad Moon Rising will still talk about headcanons about our characters and what they're doing. And it's really fun to sometimes tune into New Acadia Nights, because we're just like, hey, that was reference.
I've connected the dots.
they're being connected. It's super great, especially since I know my character entirely screwed over an NPC. And that has had some effects.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's chill.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. So I think that folks should definitely go forth and check out those various games that we have thus far mentioned. But in general, if folks want to find you online, where should they go?
Twitter.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter. and
So Twitter,
and Twitch.
possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, so you go to Twitter and then you search for Salty Sweet Games. That's the channel that we co-run together. And then we also, the channel's not on Twitter, but it's on Twitch, and it's the same handle. I'm nailing this. Salty Sweet Games, the end. Personal Twitter, That Salty Ginger. What's your personal Twitter, Kiana?
At Kiana S.
Nailed it.
You'll find us on the internet doing stuff.
We're so good at getting interviews.
We're so good. We're very smooth, very chill, very charismatic.
I would not trade a moment of it. It is thoroughly awesome. Thank you so much for coming. And in the meantime, I am going to get back to whatever it is I was just doing. In the whatever future me is doing right now, we shall go back and check in on him. So in the meantime, we'll see you later. Hello. We are back. And we have Mem. So, what's going on? What are we doing?
So, when Narita chased after Ted, who ran off to give some talks, she would have noticed that Ted was kind of trying to go catch up with part of his Wizmo mob, who was trailing Fritz, and Fritz is heading back toward the ship, followed by a little Wizmo that is trying to pretend it's a mechanical spider and hopefully not be noticed by Fritz. Fritz is probably noticed.
Fritz was actually walking slowly enough so that the little Wizmo could keep up, by the way.
Okay, good to know.
So kind and caring.
So then you sort of cross paths part way, or the little Wizmo sees that you have spotted it and comes to rejoin with the rest of the school of Wizmos. And Ted can then inform you, because Ted knows what his Wizmo buddies know, that the little spider crab Wizmo had followed Fritz to a part of the barracks at the Spacers Guild used by gnomes and halflings.
Okay, nothing unusual there.
Yep. It's gnome stuff.
And Narita feels a little sad that it wasn't something a little more juicy, but that's okay. But then Narita realizes maybe Fritz threw the little Wizmo off the scent.
So where do you want to go from here?
We were leaving the doctor, and Narita's now free of the curse, right?
Yep, that is correct.
She'll just head back to the ship. I think she probably needed time to have some thoughts about the fact that she was infested for a long time, and just kind of assumed that it was just some sort of supreme blessing, but was actually not.
Yeah, it's a lot to process.
Yeah.
So you headed back to the ship, or are you just gonna...
Yeah, she'll head back to the ship.
Okay. Ted will go back to the ship with you as well. Rick Mara is getting ready for the next phase of the journey. Lasness, did you have anything you wanted to do besides shopping?
Well, after I made that purchase, I'll make sure to pitch in and make sure that I get my part, to make sure that we have a properly Star Dwarvenly diet, consisting of potatoes and various root vegetables and meat. You boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Mostly those kinds of things. And kind of hoping that she runs into Mem because she's really excited to tell her about her Wevolution. Yeah. It's a portmanteau that she made up while she was getting her potatoes.
All right. Well, when you returned from your errands, you will find that Narita has indeed returned to the ship, so you can catch up.
Hi, Narita.
Hey, Louses, what's up?
Nothing much. We've got some real exciting news about evolution and shards, and we're on an adventure, so get ready to get going. I've got lots of stuff for foods, because we got to have food for the replicator, because the replicator can't make anything if there's food.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Rita's just like,
And then Lasness hustles off.
All right. I believe Cole had some errands to run as well.
Yes. Yeah, well, one in particular, because it's like he's something that is actually probably only at the back of his mind, but that's like he is sort of an instinct that's kind of screaming out, you're trying to do something without arranging payment for it first. What the hell is wrong with you is part of what's happening in his head to an extent, but it's because he's been distracted by other things recently, and so that thought is only occupying a terribly small space, where the rest of the mind is currently in panic over what the hell am I going to do in the next few minutes, about what the hell am I going to say, because he's going to call Lee.
Okay.
And try to find out if she's busy.
And where are you going to be when this happens? Back at your apartment on the station?
Possibly, yeah. I might actually have. I probably just ran back to grab a couple things, and so I'm.
As you are running back to your apartment, you happen to see Fritz heading back to the ship with an armload or a knapsack of supplies.
More like a pallet, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
just calling a pallet jack.
Just sort of nod. Hey, they have everything we need. Are we good? We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. And actually, I will kind of stop them for a second and say, I hope you were. Can I hope that you heard all that was when we went in and had that chat just a little bit ago?
We hear everything. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Because he's thinking that you mean you and Unum, which is the assumption he will make in his head. He's too distracted to try to hunt that one down, and he says, listen, I don't know exactly if we are getting ready to light a powder keg with this thing or not, but I just want to say I appreciate the fact that you're keeping an eye on all this.
Somebody has to, and somebody has to know who needs to call in the Marines when we need them.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Speaking of which, keep that phone line open.
Yeah, I'm about to kind of have that conversation now, or some of it, maybe.
You're a smart guy. See you later.
Continue to the apartment.
All right. You return to the apartment without further incident, and you can. I won't say you can make your call in peace, because I know that's not a thing that is happening in Cole's mind right now. But
no,
you
it
can
is
make
not.
a call.
he actually sits
Without
there.
further interruption.
He actually just sort of sits there staring at the mug for like 5 minutes. That's still sitting like on the counter, because it's like the last thing that he has to grab. He can pack very quickly for these trips. It's what he's used to.
I imagine so.
But so he's done that, and he's now staring at the spike mug, and for like 5 minutes, and then he'll go ahead and hit the comm to try to see if he can reach Lee.
Hey Cole, how are you doing?
Hey, are you busy?
Not particularly.
Yeah. There's some stuff going on, and I think it'd probably be a good idea. And I wanted to talk to you about it. If that's okay.
Sure.
Can we meet up somewhere?
Yeah. Any place you got in mind?
He just sort of shrugs and he's like, let's see. Where are you right now?
I'm just leaving the barracks, just coming off my shift.
So Cole will quickly do a mental calculation to figure out where his place is with respect to the barracks, and where the and other, whether or not he's just saying whether he's going to say stop by the apartment, or whether he's going to say some other place.
It's probably not far from the barracks to your apartment, but if you would rather meet up at your favorite hive of scum and villainy, that's also
this is actually kind of a private conversation, so I think I'll just say, yeah, actually, I'm just getting ready. I'm at my place. I'm actually just picking stuff up. Do you want to swing by here?
I'm on my way.
Okay, great. See you in a minute. So he will.
Anything particular you wish to do before she arrives?
It's kind of so yeah. He's gonna go ahead and grab the mug and pack it. And then he's gonna do the thing where he wanders into the bathroom for a minute, stares at himself in the mirror. Trying to, and then for a second he'll try to see if he's looking all right, and then he'll be like, God, forget it, just go, head out and back into the apartment.
Okay. It doesn't take her long to get there, and you hear the chime at the door.
Okay, and so he'll just say, "Come in."
And she walks in. It looks like her hair's a little bit damp from having cleaned up after work, and she's just in a t-shirt and cargo pants.
So just sort of like finishing moving some stuff around as he's setting his bag down. Hi.
Hey.
So he'll and I'm presuming, they've been out a couple of times, so probably this is the etiquette at this point is he'll go up and kiss her, then he will just not say anything for a second, as he's kind of as he's just kind of still sort of holding her there for a second, and he's like, "You want to sit down?"
Sure.
Okay. And so we'll go over and he'll go over to the little table, and he'll be like, "Listen, there's more stuff coming back that might lead back to Chiron.
Smile, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's almost a curse at this point, but there's, so I was telling you about that, after we got back from the, when we were heading back from that little investigation we had with where it turned out that was the Emperor of the Way. It was where those pilots were jumping out to. And there was a decent amount of psychic interference going on. There's a psychic virus on top of the that some of the pilots apparently were dealing with. It turns out Narita also had it, and we've been coordinating with Dr. Wu on it a bit, and it's looking like there may be something bigger going on here. I don't know how much, or even if it's necessarily going to connect up to it, but there's some evidence that it's too big. I'm thinking it's the Chiron situation is going to turn into too much of an X factor if we just leave it the way it is.
Yeah. Probably right. The Nautilid are involved, and it's I don't know if it is looking like I'm gonna have to go back probably very soon. We're getting ready to head out to the menagerie for a contact. There's a bunch of druid stuff going on, and you're working on kind of a solution involving the obelisk. And I thought that was a myth.
Yeah, I kind of did too, but I don't know. It's Regmara's got some and he's actually he's kind of pausing for a bit, as though it's like he doesn't know how much he wants to he's got this look that by now she might be able to identify, where he doesn't know how much he really should be burdening her with this stuff. So there's probably the very brief moment where they're just sort of looking at each other, and then he'll realize that there's no point in not continuing. And I'll say, yeah, so Regmara's got a couple pieces of it at this point, and I don't know, but I think it's doing something to him. I don't know what it's doing to him, but he's acting different. And I'm worried about him. And
How?
It's like he's kind of getting obsessed with finding the rest of the shards. I mean, it's not. I mean, that's kind of part of his order, right? I mean, that's like his mission. So, yeah. I mean, it makes sense that he'd want to. But there's just an edge to it lately. I can't even fully put my finger on it. But ever since he started picking them up, there's been just the way he's leaning into it is a little bit. It's a little bit scary.
Do you think these artifacts are influencing him somehow?
Maybe. I mean, hell, the guy doesn't exactly like to open up to everybody, right? So I mean, I get that. So I mean, it may just be he's becoming more comfortable or something, but it's I don't know. Maybe I'm just freaking parent.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean there aren't psyworms on Chiron waiting to eat your brain.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. He just sort of is leaning back and he's like, and he's going to kind of reach forward and he's going to kind of reach forward and take her hand, and it's going to be obvious that there is something wrong. Kind of as he's sort of the way that he's holding her hand across the table. It's kind of like his hand's like almost shaking a little bit, which typically does not happen. As he's just not really. He's not saying, and he's quiet for like a minute.
She just holds your hand and kind of gives you time to process whatever's going on in there.
Yeah. So, well, he's not actually looking directly at her when he says this, and he says, was this a good idea?
It doesn't feel like a bad idea.
And he kind of will squeeze her hand a little bit. Kind of out of my depth right now. Well, maybe in that way, yeah, but I'm not used to. It's been a while since I've started worrying about people, and that's worrying me.
You and me both.
Yeah, the fact that the rest of the crew are being able to worry me at this point is something I'm concerned about.
I'd be concerned if you weren't worried.
I know, but I'm also... Well, I worry about you too. Not in the same way, obviously. I don't think you're, turning into a megalomaniac or anything like that. But, quite obviously. But, I don't know if, and he lets go around for a second. He just sort of sits back and he's covering his eyes. For a second, he's rubbing his eyes. He's gonna lean back forward again. He's like, you know what happened to the last people I cared about?
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah. This is why I was trying to make sure I haven't made a mistake. Because I really don't want to see them get hurt, and I really, really wouldn't want to see you get hurt.
I don't want to lose you either, Cole. We've come a long way since then. We were so green.
Yeah. I don't know if I've learned anything, really, to tell you the truth. Since then. I still feel like an idiot.
The more I learn about the universe, the more I realize there's left to learn.
What do you want?
Do I want?
Yeah.
I want this place to be safe. Safe from pirates. Safe from... I wish we could spend more resources building up what we have and not funneling it all into imaginary threats on the border, the so-called war zone.
Yeah. Well. That's hopefully what we're working on right now.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
But you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt to know that there's someone waiting for me when I get off duty, when I get out of that mech suit. And I can just be me.
And he'll be quiet for another like half a minute as he's just sort of looking at her, as he's looking into her eyes and just sort of thinking about what the fact that she has said this actually to him registers as kind of an admission she hasn't been able to be herself for probably quite a while, maybe. And he will say like, there's I guess I have this thing where I try to build up this whole idea, trying to figure out what's the best way to protect everybody, what's more important, one thing or the other. But I guess, damn it. I guess it's funny. I guess being with people might be, in this case, even more important than not being with people.
If it's the right people.
Oh God, I'm such an idiot. All right. Before I change my mind, he reaches into a pocket and he takes out like a little, it's a little chip-looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Space flash drive, but probably smaller. And he will toss it. He will toss it onto the table to her.
She picks it up.
That is the code for that door. If you just would like to be able to come and go and all that.
I appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, well, you mean a lot to me. And that is goddamn terrifying. But
I know.
But if I do like I've always done before and start shutting you out, then start shutting people out, then I think that's actually going to cause more problems now that I'm thinking about it. That's going to cause more pain. And honestly, I think we've had enough of that.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question that I have to ask, because I owe it to you. I guess you know right now that all my instincts are kind of pounding at the side of my head telling me not to ask you this question. But I'm going to ask it anyway.
I figured that out.
Yeah. So if it turns out this is something that is leading us back to Chiron, do you want in on it?
Really, yes.
Okay. I think that is probably where this is headed. I don't know exactly what our itinerary is looking like because somehow I've taken leave of my senses and we're doing this without securing a client first. I'm thinking we're actually I'm gonna talk to Jim looks up the notes so that he can use proper names and fails miserably. I'm going to talk to the...
Here, interstitial music.
Thank you. I was looking for the captain of the Nautilid ship.
Captain Mazeline.
Mazeline, okay. I'm going to talk to Captain Mazeline and see about because I know that they were looking for assistance. They still had, I believe they still have that posted. So I'm going to probably go that route. So it's going to happen sooner or later. But right now, all I know is we're headed for the menagerie to probably try to find the Archdruid. Because there's, again, more of that obelisk thing going on. And we kind of, I guess, see what happens from there. We're kind of we're relying on help from someone that is just recently decided to try to be open with us, and it's I'll admit, a little concerning, but also I'm hoping it's going to come out all right. But so I guess I'll keep you updated on where we are and what we're doing. And
it's a long trip. You could. You've done enough for the Spicers Guild. You could probably pull some strings and get a subspace communication going with the menagerie. If you want to send word to the Archdruid. Unless you feel like it's a conversation that should be had in person.
I'm imagining that Rekmara's going to want to do that in person, but I'll go ahead and suggest it. Just to see if they'll if that'll be all right with them. That is a good idea. And actually, yeah, he'll he's gonna go ahead and he'll actually, he's got his comm. He's gonna go ahead and call Unum right now.
Hello, Cole.
Hey, who's on board right now?
Rekmara, Lasness, Narita, Fritz, Ted, Rhapsodos.
I kind of glance up for a second as I realize that I probably haven't gone into detail about Rhapsodos yet. Explain. And I'm just sort of as I just sort of look over across at Leah, and I'm like,
you pick up a lot of strays.
Yeah, it seems that
you just can't help yourself.
I don't understand. And I just sort of I mute it for a second. Yeah, I don't really get it either. It's like everyone has to have a pet or something. I don't know. But he just sort of glances down to the top of the bag where the mug is. He'll tap it and say thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
And he'll unmute. He'll say, yeah, can you patch me into to Rekmara's comm if he's got it on right now?
Rekmara, you having incoming communication from Cole Hayden.
Yes.
Quick question. I can probably get a subspace channel of communication out to the Archdruid if we needed it, turns out. Do we? Is that an option you want to go down, or do you need to see them in person?
No, not an option. Click.
Oh, there's our answer.
Yeah. He's as stubborn as a certain bounty hunter I know.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's growing on me. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we're headed out there, and I don't know if Okay, so
Okay.
Would I know where that? Okay, the direction from here to Menagerie versus the direction from here to Chiron is kind of what I'm wondering about, because I'm worried that we're going to end up hopping straight from the one to the other without coming back here.
Chiron is like a couple of jumps towards noon, and the Menagerie is on the other side of the galaxy from here. So it really depends.
Ah.
Think
Okay,
the
so it
mod-
actually.
You can go wherever.
Okay, so it wouldn't necessarily matter so much. Okay.
Not really.
All right. That's good to know.
You can come all the way back here if you want to, or you can just go straight to Chiron from the menagerie if you want to.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask that is because it's a. Okay, so this place isn't. So this wouldn't be on the way necessarily.
Not really. No.
Okay. All right.
Technically, Chiron is on the way back from the menagerie.
Okay.
And you could have Lee meet you at the mall station near Chiron.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah. I was just thinking logistically is the whole thing. Yeah. Those scenes you don't normally see in most sci-fi epics, as they take out their date books and their planners, and it's like, well, let's see. We can go here at this time. There's a cafe on the corner of They never show you that. They just show up at the cafe.
To really filled in a lot of the details about the mall station on Chiron because we had more important things to worry about last time we were there.
This is true.
But there is a mall station. You could meet up.
Okay, cool. So yeah, basically I'll sort of. So I'll say, yeah, okay. So I'll send. I'll send back to you, let you know, kind of once we've kind of figured out what's going on. So I may talk to the guild anyway, just so we can work that out. And we'll kind of see what's going on, I guess. Oh yeah, we have a Roth now, apparently.
I'm sorry, what?
They're in suspended animation, so it's not.
Ixnay on the Othray.
So I mean, it's not. They're not harming anybody, and actually, they don't want to harm anybody, and that's one of the reasons. We've been talking to Dr. Wu about it, and they're looking for an alternative.
Did connect some of the dots with why you're going back to Chiron.
Yeah, that's kind of tied into the whole thing, and
It explains a few things.
Yeah, so I probably should have led with that.
Okay.
But anyway,
monsters are real. I should know this by now.
Well, the interesting thing about this one, apparently, is that it wants to not eat people's brains. All right, but yeah. Okay, I guess we're really doing this.
Okay.
And they'll just sort of lean in and they'll say, just if you can assure me that I'm not. Please tell me I'm not about to get you and the crew killed. Please tell me that.
I'm a big girl, Cole. If you want protection, stand behind me.
And he's just going to lean forward and kiss her.
Reciprocate and kind of grab your hand and palm you the code to her apartment as well.
Cool. All right. That's, I think, everything that we need to take care of on camera. So we're good.
We pan to the space heater.
It's a very good space heater. It's very efficient. It's very nice.
Smooth space gas playing in the background.
I was gonna say, and it looks nothing like a fireplace, right?
No, nothing like one. No.
Okay. So, well, Cole has taken care of business. Is there anything anyone else would like to wrap up before heading to the menagerie?
Yes, me please. So while I'm updating the travel logs and everything and getting star maps loaded, I want to make sure that I'm running a specific algorithm looking for mysterious ship known as Crabber's Cask.
Okay.
You never know.
Yes. You know actually pretty much exactly where that is. You can not quite, but you can almost see it. You can't quite like look out the window, but like it is kind of, if you go to like the station map, you are here.
Mhm.
It is kind of a notable landscape for vessels that are sailing are traveling in the area between here and Guillermo. So it is marked. It's just kind of parked there on the edge of the dead magic zone near a lovely little um, asteroid reef.
So we're nowhere near that?
You're pretty close. It's a little bit closer to Guillermo, but
Right. But it's not going to be near to where we're headed.
no.
No.
Yeah.
Darn. Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely just going to make sure I put a bookmark and a star there. Now I'm going to circle the star, and then I'm going to grab my highlighter and highlight in the circle and the star, but in alternating colors. And then one extra alternating color ring on the outside.
Okay.
Where are my stickers?
So Fritz is going to actually make sure that there is an open, available and established subspace connection from the ship back to the Spacers Guild Gnomes Barracks.
Okay. Yeah.
Mostly for additional communication. If we happen to get into any issues where that would be useful in the near future, but I just want to make sure, that Fritz has that available to them.
Sure. Yeah. You've got ways. You might, depending on how far away you are when you want to send this communication, you might only be able to send a limited amount of data. But
right. I mean, it would be short burst communication, or it would allow for a hop, but you still need to have that connection directly back into the barracks, which is what Fritz is looking for specifically.
Yeah, you can set that up
rather than having to go through the MAW communications station system.
You've got the knowledge and the technology and the connections. You can set that up easily.
Yeah, basically something to hop a signal in if I need to.
Yep.
Got it.
All right.
Rekmara is going to take one last attempt to use the obelisk to reach out to the other shards and see if anyone else is looking for him.
It doesn't feel like anyone is looking for you exactly. You do kind of get a kind of a distant ping on something that does resonate with the obelisk shards, and again it's kind of like there's a little bit of interference, like the pictures and impressions that you're getting are a little bit broken up. Like it almost feels like trying to use a piece of equipment that is malfunctioning. Like maybe you found something that has taken some damage, or it's a really small fragment, so it's hard to pinpoint.
Okay.
But or when you do, every time you try to like focus on it, your awareness kind of scatters to other locations.
Is it possible for me to use my fused and awakened shard to pull it towards my direction?
You can try. How do you want to do that?
With intense concentration.
Concentration. Okay. Make me a constitution check.
14.
Okay. You concentrate very intently, and you feel your awareness pulled through a very stormy kind of atmosphere. There's lightning and kind of like a rumbling of thunder, and then you plunge down into deep, dark, cold, and heavy darkness. And for a moment, and then the pressure eases and you feel like you're inside of a ship, but it's not moving. And you see a portal opening up as something or someone is being transported onto this ship, and then it closes down and you are pulled or pushed back into your own body.
Do I know which direction this thing is? No.
Yeah, you do. It's somewhere you have probably been avoiding for some time. It's not on Kemet, but it is near the Aviara Holy Lands.
Well, okay. All right. I guess we're going to have to ask about that when we get to the menagerie.
Okay. So if everyone is ready, you can prepare the ship, and you can make the. It probably takes several jumps, and you may have to stop at a few waypoints, but we'll skip over that as usual. And you jump to the menagerie. You've all been here before, so you kind of have an idea of where things are and who you should talk to. But as you arrive at the menagerie, I think that is a good place to wrap, and we will pick up with the important conversations next time.
Okay. Cool. This is very interesting. It's very intriguing. Just this whole thing that's this web that seems to be to continue to unfold. Really neat. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead then and do our outros. I'll actually go ahead and say I think my favorite part of this episode has been actually all of the intrigue and the sort of we're seeing getting more and more of a window into Rek-Mara, and I like that very much. So that's definitely my favorite thing this episode. We're gonna go ahead and go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, and any final thoughts on this episode, or favorite moments, or what have you. And we shall start now with Mem.
Wait. We don't usually start with me, right?
Well, we do when we're doing outros. Actually, no, you're right. We don't start with Mem. You know what? You're right. We usually start with I don't know who I am anymore. I've been thrown completely off all of everything. All of everything. I actually think I'm going to, yes, but I'm gonna go ahead and give the last word to Alyssa today. I think just because I'm going to continue rolling in the same direction instead of being adaptive, or perhaps I am being adaptive. I don't know the definition of what are words. So actually, yes, I'm sorry. We're going to shake it up a little bit. We're going to start with Mem today.
All right. Well, hi. I'm Mem. I wasn't ready.
I'm sorry. Oh God. Apparently, I wasn't either.
You can mostly find me here, because I've stopped streaming. It seems like, but I do have a Twitch where, if I decide to do it again, I will be there. And I'm on Twitter, also not very much these days, at Uncertain Mem. Favorite moment, obviously the love story unfolding. There's a lot of drama and stuff in there, but whatever, but the love. But also I like getting to know a little bit more about Rek-Mara, what's going on in that weird brain of his.
It's a thing. It's definitely it is scaring me a little bit. We'll have to see what happens. Really honest. Very cool. All right, now let us go ahead and head over to May.
Hi everybody, my name is May. You can find me here playing Dark Matter. That's about it, really. I have a lot of fun. Lastness had a lot of fun. I think I loved Rek-Mara the most. Also, I kind of have this feeling, and I've had this feeling for the last couple games, I think we need to get to Chiron.
You think? I don't know, it just seems to keep coming up. I don't understand how. Actually, well, the funny part is, I think it's really been mostly us. We've mostly been the ones that have been bringing it up.
Yes.
That's the very cool. Alyssa hasn't pushed us in any particular direction. We just seem to be. But we just keep everything we uncover does seem to, when we're finishing things up, does seem to point to Chiron right now, and it's a little terrifying. But maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Maybe.
Mayhap. And let's go ahead and head over to Kazemi.
Hey all, Kazemi. I'm here on Sundays and pretty much nowhere else any other time. Yeah, no, I'm totally 1 foot in the watching the Cole romance unfold situation, and also in the watching how many other ways Rekmara can turn into a capitalist, eventually fascist, evil overlord. Waiting to see how this particular evolution continues. So we'll see where that goes. But I'm curious to see where we're going to end up physically, like where the ship is going to end up in the next couple of sessions. I have a feeling we're going to be doing some traveling, so looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. I think my favorite part was indeed watching the very uncomfortable romance between Cole and his fellow soldiers. So let's see. Upcoming, you can find me on the Wander DM channel next Friday for the season finale of Cyberpunk Red, in which there will probably be a lot of trouble for my character. And then over on Saturday will be the season finale of Scion, in which there will probably be a lot of trouble for my character as well. And then Saturday evening, you'll find me again on the me and Jim both on the Prex Agora Thesmophoria channel for a post-regiment talk, in which I will probably discuss all of the decision making that went into murdering my own character, as well as other questionable choices that I probably made as I struggled through this game that was completely outside of my comfort zone, and surrounded by people who have extensive knowledge of Napoleonic era history, in which I have absolutely zero knowledge of. So watch that and watch my inferiority complex come to light. And because, that'll probably be the last you'll ever see of me on tabletop role-playing or whatever. So there we go. Happy holidays.
Oh my god. That was such a thing, though. It's just he totally threw his character into the meat grinder. It was amazing. That's why I was so worried at the beginning of this session. I will say that it is a bit daunting keeping up with all the Napoleonic of it all, and most of my faking it comes from Wikipedia. Finally, let us go ahead and then head back over to our illustrious station master, Alyssa.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in, and thank you all for playing again. My name is Alyssa. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Origami Shuriken. And it's hard to choose a favorite moment because I have so many threads coming together, and I'm just loving dropping all the exposition and bringing all of the loose ends back into the story. And I'm very excited to see how it plays out. And creating so much trouble for Anino's character.
It's getting downright terrifying. All of this, but it's delightful.
I've already given Cole trouble. That's old hat.
That's true.
I mean, there's Lasness and Narita and Fritz.
I've killed so many of Narita's national secrets behind her back.
And her personal health information.
I know,
That
just
too.
putting all that stuff out there. Like, shh, stop.
There's a lot to be worried about there.
Honest.
Oh my God. Well, that leaves comes back to me. I want to, just before I do my own outros, I want to once again bow my head in thanks to Jade Nebula for providing the art, for providing our artwork. Once again, I am Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast, links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my various media. Yes, so as things progress on Saturday, we are, I'm going to be, as Anita mentioned, I'm going to be over on Prax's channel, Praxagora Thesmophoria, for the after show for the Regiment campaign, where Pope will be there doing an inside the tabletop role-playing gamers studio type deal with us, asking us questions. And I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be awesome. Because I saw him, I've seen him do those before, and for other campaigns, and it's really cool. It's really cool. You get to dig in and talk about the things you don't normally get to talk about after about a campaign. So I very much am looking forward to that. And of course, 1 week from today, we have more of this, quite potentially. At least I think we do. Yeah. But it's going to be very interesting seeing how this all shapes up, because we can see the pieces falling into place, and the puzzle grows ever more horrifying the more I see of it, and I love it. So let's see. I have opened signups for a short campaign I am going to be running on this channel in early 2021 of Urban Shadows. So that is an urban fantasy game powered by the Apocalypse. I've played a few short campaigns, or a few campaigns of it over on Off the Table. It is an awesome PBTA game, probably my favorite PBTA game. Never actually run it before. Going to take a stab at running it. It's going to be a short campaign. It's going to be a little bit longer than your usual 4-session thing that I had been doing. I'm going to give it a little more room to breathe. So that's the signups are open for that now. Those are open through Wednesday, December 30th. So if you're interested in jumping in on that, you can go and find the sign-up form either by clicking going over to jimmyesthatjim.com and clicking on game sign up, or going down below on this here Twitch screen and clicking on RPG sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. And so when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to, let us see. Let's raid Grant. Grant is playing a video game. Grant Ellis is playing a video game right now, of some kind or other that looks kind of cool. We're going to go over there and say hi to him. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to him with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.